guys, Clapping Penguin here, and welcome to Hedgehogz Behind the Characters. Now in this video I wanted to go over the key aspects of each of the main characters that I'm planning to try and cover in this mini-series. The main characters of course being Shadow, Sonic and Silver, and yes, in that order, with Shadow being the oldest and Silver being the youngest. And I kind of cover these aspects slightly using specific wording in the opening titles, and I'll go over these as the video progresses. So without further ado, let's get into the first character. Now, starting off, we have Shadow, and the two key words I used for Shadow, or the key aspects I wanted to cover, were mature and moody. Now, starting with mature, I basically wanted to try and cover not exactly adult maturity, but the fact he's closer to that kind of maturity, Shadow. Simply the fact that he's had a bit more experience, he's a bit older than the other two characters, and in some aspects he's a bit more emotionally mature in some aspects, which kind of leads me on to the second point. Now, when I say moody, I don't mean moody like moody teenager. I basically mean moody as in his mood, his deeper emotions, if it were, as it were. His deeper emotions that he wouldn't normally show in the open. So his deeper pain, his deeper anguish, his deeper anger, I suppose. I think there was even an expression I was going to have Sonic say to Silver whenever Shadow gets angry. I think the line was going to be something like, "At least he didn't go Super Saiyan on you," or something along those lines. And I probably will still use that, but anyhow, those were the key aspects I wanted to try and cover with Shadow. His maturity and his deeper emotions. So without further ado, let's move on to the next character. And our next character, of course, is the Blue Blur himself, Sonic. Now, the key aspects I wanted to cover with Sonic were fast and immature, or they were the words I used. Now, when I say fast, I mean he's on the ball, he knows what he's doing, he's quick to any situation, as it were. However, that also ties in with his immaturity, as it were. I wanted to try and bring it back to kind of the slightly immature side of Sonic that he had with the early cartoons, as it were. It's not that he doesn't understand situations. It's just that he how do I describe it? He tries to joke around about it, and also going back to fast, he's quick to say something, so he'll come up with a quick comeback to something, but at the same time, he then suddenly does a 418 and realises, oh crap, I've just said something I shouldn't have, sort of thing. Which is kind of covered in the first episode, or will be covered in the first episode, where he says a comeback or something to Tails, and then just realises what he's just said, and immediately thinks to himself, "Oh, right, I'm going to get back to what I'm going to do, what I was meant to do." But anyway, those are the key aspects I wanted to try and cover with Sonic. And finally, move on to the final of the main characters. And finally, we come to Silver. Now, for Silver, it was kind of tricky to try and come up with key aspects to cover with him, and the key aspects I went with, or the words I used, were kind and innocent. Now, in other projects, that I'm working on, or that I've worked on, I've kind of covered his strength, his courage, his need for revenge, and so on. But at the same time, a key aspect I haven't quite covered is his kindness and his innocence. Because he is the youngest of the characters. He's got a kind of a bit more of a maturity than Sonic does, but at the same time he is still young. He can still kind of be easily influenced a little bit, and sometimes he doesn't quite understand situations. So I just wanted to cover that as well in there, the innocent side of it. Although I guess in a way, at the same time, there's a sort of subtle little thing in there. He's how did I put it? He's innocent until he pinches your cereal. It was a little something that sprung to mind. Kind of going to cover that in the first episode with that, but no. But just his kindness and his innocence are key aspects I just wanted to cover. In sort of in a way, he seems to have a better relationship in ways towards Shadow. He has a better relationship with Shadow than he does with Sonic, but that doesn't mean he doesn't get on with Sonic as well. So sort of in a way, Silver is, still obviously being the youngest. He's still veering between the two, as it were, the maturity of Shadow, and at the same time the immaturity of Sonic. So he could go either way. But no, those are the key aspects I wanted to cover with Silver. And that's pretty much it for the main characters. There are other side characters in there, such as there'll be Tails, Knuckles, Rouge. They'll each appear in at least one episode each. Probably or even just in the background of other episodes. There's only going to be 6 episodes anyway. But no, I just wanted to clarify that as well. And I've kind of done it as well, or planning to do it as well, with each of the main characters at least getting 2 episodes each. Can't quite remember it off the top of my head, but I think I've given Sonic the 1st and 4th episodes, Shadow the 2nd and last episodes, leaving Silver with episodes 3 and 5. So, yeah, I've kind of worked it out that way. Initially, I was going to have it that Sonic would have the 1st and last episodes, but I thought it would work out a bit better if I mixed it up a bit. But anyhow, I hope you're all looking forward to the series as and when I get it done. I still need to write scripts for all 6 episodes, but I hope you enjoy it nonetheless. Until then, see ya.